Alright, boys and girls, we're back with the 357 XP that I've been messing with for decades, it seems like. I went ahead and removed the last video of it. Something wasn't quite right. Couldn't get it to tune in. Felt like I had an air leak. I went ahead, took the cylinder off of it so that I could make sure that the intake boot was properly on the intake. And that it was all good. It looks good. I don't think that I need a new intake boot. But I did notice there is a, there's like a mount, right? It's the thing that the carburetor actually screws into. It's plastic on these things, and those threads tend to get either stripped out, or it's more proper, I think, to say weakened from over tightening and overuse. And one of those sides is definitely weak, and so I will definitely order me another one. But we're going to go ahead and do a quick test here and see what it cuts like with the Chinese carburetor. I swapped out the Walbro that comes with it and put a new Chinese carburetor on it because I couldn't see any problems with the intake really, aside from that screw hole, and maybe that was causing the leak. But it seems to fire up and run better than it did before. Let's get it in the wood and see how it reacts. Okay, it's right off the bat, it's running great, feels good. However, I think this chain is doing a disservice to it. So, yeah, I can see where the fronts are bent over just slightly, right? So it's not eating the way that I would want it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap out that chain before I do any more testing and see how she cuts. Feels good and strong though, feels really good. Okay, excuse me. We got a different chain on it now. It is one of those tri-link chains. These are rebranded in all different kinds of ways. I believe they're just a made in China chain, and they got these little circles on the links. But I will say though that this one has been sharpened by none other than John Riley himself. If you're unfamiliar with John Riley, look up his channel on YouTube. I think it's literally just called John Riley. So it's probably going to be kind of like a not a fair assessment, but I want to run it and see how it does. Like I say, he just wanted to see if he could get one of these Chinese chains to cut fast, I think. I don't know if he's even put it in the wood, but he sent it to the channel for me to try out, and here we go. Yeah, we still got an air leak. And I bet you anything, it's from the where the carburetor bolts into it. Shit, son of a bitch. But it's clearly strong, clearly running and cutting good. That chain cut's nice. But I still felt like I had to dog it in. I didn't dog it in, but I felt like it. I can't help myself. Nah, whenever that stuff happens, don't even run it. That's sad. I want to be able to tune it more and maybe throw even a different chain on it and stuff, but it still ain't ready. I've got to buy one of them things, whatever you want to call it, the carburetor mount for this. And I think then it'll be done. Yeah, shitty video, but oh well. I figure I'd go ahead and show you the chain because I'm sure you want to see it. It's not a full-on race chain. And there's that little sort of curly-Q looking thing. There you go. You can see it good there. These are branded. I know Home Depot, I believe, brands them as PowerMate. I believe that's what they call it. But all it is a tri-link chain. And I believe they're made in China somewhere. And I don't know. I guess they're decent chain. But quite often with these things, you hit spots where it's hardened. And you got to really dig to clean them out. So that's the best cutting Chinese chain I think I've ever messed with. But yeah, I'm not used to having to push so much. And this very well is likely my inexperience here. I know, like the C83, you'll cut faster if you just lightly push on it. And same thing with the steel RS chain too. Pushing it through the wood is typically not the way that I find goes the fastest. But in a race situation, I think they want to set it up that way so that you push on it really hard to get it the bite that you want, and without it taking too much of a bite. I think that's the idea. But anyways, the 357 XP, I am honestly borderline just trying to sell it in the condition that it is. Just because it's just one thing after another. Done a lot of work to it. I think the port job is good, like really good. I think that it'll offer a lot of power. It's just got a lot of little things that are still chaps my ass, you know. I'm like sick of it. But need to get it running right, because it's a nice saw. It just had a lot of issues that I've had to deal with. It's got new crank bearings in it, new crank seals. It's got good cases. I had to go through multiple different iterations of the actual cases. You know, the bottom end is good, and the cylinder is good, and the piston is good. All of that jazz is good. It's got a good muffler mod on it. I'm just now battling with the intake issues, which these things were prone to have. If you don't know about that, let me tell you. Whenever they first came out, I believe they were first introduced with Zama carburetors, and then all of a sudden they became keen on putting them out as EPA emission oriented saws, and whenever they did that, the exhaust was really clogged up, you know, and the carburetor itself had legit issues. A lot of people had all kinds of problems with the carburetors on these, and because they switched over to a Walbro. And I've heard a lot of people say that Zama is better than Walbro, And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I feel like if it's a Walbro, it's fine. I've had good experience with Walbros, but then again, nearly everything that's professional out there has a Walbro carb on it, unless it's older stuff. And then they had Tillotson. Zama carbs, I believe, are all made in China. I think they've always been made in China. Could be wrong on that, but yeah, a lot of people say that they're better. And on these, I think we know it's kind of factual. They are the better carburetor, because whenever they switched over to the Walbro, it was an EPA carb setup that nobody liked. And then, so you had your carburetor issues, you had your muffler issues, and then on top of everything, you had a shitty designed intake. And, you know, let's talk about it. I mean, it's got this mount. Might as well show you. It'll be easy to pop this off. It's this portion right here. It goes all the way back like that. That is what your carburetor actually screws into. And it's made out of plastic. Well, since it's made out of plastic, just simply time will stretch it out, and those threads get weak. So while neither of the threads are completely stripped out, you can feel it. You're like, oh, I better not tighten it up anymore, because it's just going to pull right out. And I think that's probably where my leak is coming from right now. And it's only about a $7 part. But when you order from Parts Tree, they tack a $10 shipping on top of it. So when it's all said and done, you know, you got a $7 part that cost you $10 to ship it to you. So I would really like to have an OEM Zama carb for this. So if there's anybody out there that can hook me up with an OEM Zama carb, I'm all ears, you know, and we'll get it going. And another part of me that, you know, yeah, I've had a long struggle with this saw, replacing a lot of different things on it, because I guess you could say it was abused, but it's really not in that bad a shape. It's really not. And now it's got nice crankcases on it, and it's really good bottom end and everything. But the big reason why I'm not super keen on making this thing perfect is because I have a Jansared 2156, which is this saw, but nicer because it's a Jansared, and it's red and black, and it's lovely. I have a really nice one that I will be getting to, and this thing is hogging up the time that is meant for the Jansared. So I'm eager for this thing to be finished and out the door. Or if somebody wants to buy it in the condition it sits, give me $500 and I'll ship it to you. And it's not perfect, but that is a freaking stellar deal on a well-ported, muffler modded, new bottom end, everything. I'll be losing my ass on this deal. Somebody that wants it for $500 in the condition it sits right now, yeah, you can buy it off of me. Send me an email, bodiechainsaws@gmail.com. If you don't know how to spell it, because I'm not going to do the editing on this video, go to the About page of this channel, and you can find my email address there. Send me an email, and then you can pay me through PayPal or Cash App or whatever you want. I got them all. And it'd be Powerhead only. But yeah, there you have it.